Hi. Fixed it.
You guys have no idea how much we've done trying to figure this out.
The learning curve of the new podcasters. uh,
Oh my
crazy,
gosh. Right.
crazy.
All
All
right.
right.
You do the intro.
Welcome to Chats with Double A. All the things you wish you could say. We'll say them for you. So, I am Alyssa,
And I am Andrea.
and we're the Double A's.
Obviously.
Because who else would we have in here? Antonio?
I don't know.
You know an Antonio? Because I don't.
Yes,
You do?
I do.
Wait, actually, yeah, I do. Freaking our cousin's son's name's Antonio.
I know. Right. I was like, you do know what? I'm looking at you, girl.
The brain fog is real. Okay, so welcome to our introductory podcast where we're going to tell you a little bit about ourselves and what our podcast is about. And a few little fun tidbits
And
that might.
we're not interrupted too much.
Well, I mean, like they didn't say they were coming back till 11:30, so I think we got time. Okay, so I will go first. Um, so obviously my name is Alyssa, and I am 36 years old, very proud of my age, because not all people make it to this age. Um, let's see, what do I want you to know about me? Uh, no, I don't speak Spanish. Sorry. I am, however, half Mexican and half white American Caucasian. I don't know. I like to consider my mom's side of the family like a mutt of Europe because they're just from everywhere over there. So there's not like one country that like Mexico that I can be like, oh yeah, her family's from there. No, they're from everywhere. So um, very frequently do I get, sometimes I'm asked. Most of the time, people just come up to me and start speaking in Spanish. And I'm like, whoa, 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 whoa. No hablo español. Solo inglés, por favor. And then they kind of look at me with a confused face because I just said it with perfect pronunciation. Although, like when I say it faster, like in person. Anyway, and I'm like, yeah, I can say that and like, ¿dónde está el baño? Where's the bathroom? You know? So my Spanish is limited, limited, very limited. But I do love that part of me, my heritage from that side of my family. Um, not that I'm not saying I don't love my white heritage, but regardless, either way, I love my family, both sides. Let's see. So I come from a big family on my mother's side, um, as Andrea can attest to, since we are sister cousins. So her mom is my mom's oldest sister. So we've known each other all my life. So, and we have been best friends for I don't even know how long at this point. Long time, long time. Um, we weren't so much when we were younger, just because we lived in opposite ends of places. Let's see. I teach at a middle school. Well, I did. don't know what's happening now. As you can see, I am in the hospital. So I'll tell you just a smidge about that. I was walking into work and I stepped up on this little step ledge platform thing. It was literally like this high. So it wasn't big. Um, and I had been having back problems, which we'll talk about in our chronic illness episode. Because there's a lot of them. So I was having back problems that was associated with weakness and pain in my left leg. So I was like, okay, not gonna step up with that one today.
Okay.
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
That was my nurse. The other ones I was talking about were my CNA and my respiratory therapist. So I got three people I'm trying to juggle, and they're trying to juggle an entire full floor of patients with not enough people. So, give them some grace. They're not at their best today. Um, let's see. So I step up with my right leg instead so I can, balance the box that I'm carrying, which had fabric for my students. And I step up, snap, fall. So I could hear and feel something snap in my knee on the right. And so then, as a result of that, I fell and banged my hip and my shoulder into the cement. And then there's a whole long story. But the end result of that day was that I ended up being admitted to the hospital because I could not care for myself. And I had an MRI and I had a broken tibial plateau. I had a fracture in the top of my tibia. And the ER doctor sent me home on a broken leg without even a Tylenol. So there's a long story behind that, which we can get into another day. But that is why, for a while at least, this is my background. So I'm super excited to be doing this with my best friend. And interestingly enough, we're recording at 11 o'clock at night. And most of our really good conversations, I heard something. I thought that door was opening again. I'm like, no, go away. I need to make a sign tomorrow that says, do not bug me. I am recording, and then make sure that somebody puts it on the door. Anyway, so see, now I can't even remember what I was thinking. Blah, the ADHD is strong with this one, people. And that's not a joke. I was diagnosed at 4 years old. What was I talking about?
You're talking about how our conversations happen at certain times.
Right. It's called coming back. All right. So most of our amazing conversations and fabulous ideas happen in the middle of the freaking night. Because we both work. And so sometimes we're not getting home until like 7:30. And that's a good night for Andrea. Sometimes I have been at the school until almost 10, but that's been like twice. Because I've got other things to do and I need to feed my fur baby. So I don't have all the food at the school. I gotta take her home. So we were talking one night and I think it was like a weekend because we were like talking late into the night, meaning this was a 4-hour conversation. And it was like towards the last half hour, which was like what, like 2:30 in the morning, something like that. Yeah. And so I believe that I had said something quite profound. Do I remember what it was? Absolutely not. Um, but neither does Andrea. So you know what? Like, it's not just me. Uh, anyway, I said something profound, and Andrea was like, "We should do a TED Talk," and I was like, "Screw that! Let's do a podcast." So that is how Chats with Double A came to fruition at 2 o'clock, 2:30 in the morning, some random Friday night or something like that. Um, and so like we're just trying this out, trying to spread some good word, trying to educate on different subjects. But I'm gonna let Andrea tell you a little bit about herself, and then we can go a little bit more into that. Take it away, girlfriend.
Thanks. So I had to mute myself because I got a cuckoo clock that's not on time. Like at about 7 minutes after 11, it's gonna cuckoo 11 times to say, hey, it's 11 o'clock.
And it is not quiet. It's not.
It's not quiet. One of these days, it will cuckoo while we're recording, and I'll just be like, it is what it is. Because it cuckoos every
It's like people coming in and interrupting. It's just it is what it is.
it is what it is.
She's got a cuckoo clock. I've got hospital staff.
Right.
Mhm.
Um, so let's see. I am Andrea, and I am a single mom of four special needs kids. I work in the education field, not as a teacher. Don't have
Nope.
a teaching degree. However, I have taught because I had teachers not show up. So they said, here, take the class, go for it. I'm like, okay, I'm now teaching the class.
Emergency sub right there.
Emergency sub right here. It's written all over. Let's see. I worked with the junior high school age students before Alyssa did. So I've had a few years of junior high before she started junior high. Let me tell you, it's not
Not,
easy.
not me in junior high.
No, no, no,
Teaching
no.
junior high.
No,
The way
teaching
you said
in
it
junior
sounded
high.
really funny. Before she started junior high, I'm like, girl,
No,
you're
no,
not
no,
that much different in age. Okay.
no. Let's see. Trying to think. Went from junior high, now I'm into like high school and adult education. Um, because I have special needs kids, I'm a special needs advocate for parents who are in the education system and fighting the schools to get their children what they need, to making sure that they are getting the services that they need in school during the whole process. Been doing that for a hot minute. Um,
But you weren't also just doing that as someone who works in the education system, but also for your children.
right, because I've been doing it for over 20 years. So I figured might as well, like I took on the state that I'm in, literally, because they kicked my son out of the school that he was at. So I had to take on the state. So I did. I've hired attorneys to fight the school system. So I know a lot about that. So I have a friend, we started a nonprofit and we go to meetings and we advocate and we're getting results. We're seeing results just showing up as advocates. So I'm grateful to have that experience. I've had almost a almost a decade of personal development, helping me through some very traumatic times and a lot of unnecessary garbage in my life, like, oh, living hell for a hot minute. So I've been through a lot, so I can relate to most people. And let's see, fun facts. Are we doing fun facts?
Oh, I forgot my fun fact.
I know
Okay.
you forgot your fun
I
fact.
can do mine first. Okay,
Okay,
cool.
she's gonna do her first.
I'm obsessed with unicorns. This is my one unicorn stuffy that I have with me at the hospital. That does not mean I do not have more. Andrea can also attest to that. What else am I obsessed with? Oh, yeah. Hold, please. Stanley's. She can also attest to that. I have a Stanley and water bottle problem. I think that's it.
Is that your fun fact?
I may also be obsessed with socks. Like, no joke. When I went to a place, which we'll talk about later, my aunt and my mom had like washed all of my socks and put them in a pile in the living room to match them. I had an entire large laundry basket of socks. And those were the ones that were matched. There's still a pile of mismatched socks on the floor. So, you know. But my weird fun fact is that I am 36 and I received my first kiss. Excuse me. I stole my first kiss at 35.
So now you're stealing.
Still, do you know what? I think like I feel like I stole his heart. Like, because he was like really into me. And I just
Well,
wasn't.
it's hard when there's not showing up. There's not a show up in your
This,
life. Okay, if you like me, show up. Like,
right.
just show up.
And
Okay.
it's kind of crazy because like he lived what 3 hours from me,
Mhm.
2.5, 3 hours. And he was the one who traveled. Like we had agreed that we would like travel both of us, but it always ended up being him that traveled to see me. And so I think, like you were saying, I was like, we show up for the people that we truly love.
But
So,
that's not just showing up in person. It's showing up in text. It's showing up in phone calls. It's showing up in
right.
emails. It's showing up
Hmm.
like consistently.
All the time.
It's
We
all the
show
time.
up. Yeah. And like he did show up in person and he would sometimes show up through text message or Marco Polo or something, you
Right.
know. But it wasn't like you said, it wasn't consistent. And so like how you can't like build a spark that's not there,
Right.
you know? Like there's either a spark to light the fire or there's not. And
Right.
for me, I tried really hard to like rub the sticks together, you know? Like but I just wasn't into him and in that way. And I felt like really bad because I felt like I was like leading him on. And so I'm actually the one who broke up with him because I didn't want to hurt him. I didn't want it to keep continuing when I wasn't fully into it.
Right. Well, and you don't want to get into a relationship that's going to be unhealthy. So it's like
Right.
you have to know what flags to spot. Those red flags.
The
They're there
red
for
flag.
a reason.
Oh my gosh. Okay, speaking of flags, I saw the funniest meme on Facebook the other day. And it was like, I'm not a red flag, I'm not a green flag, I'm a white flag. Please leave me alone.
Surrender.
Yeah, like surrender, I quit, I give up, I'm done. I was like, oh, how that speaks to my soul so much.
Okay,
Because it's like, uh, you know what we don't have on our list is
but
dating. We don't have that on our list because you and I don't think about dating. Because
well,
we're like, no, dating is stupid.
I I I just don't.
I know. Right. Well, I don't either.
You found your notebook.
I did. Look at how
We
cute this
have
is.
we have a list. We
It's got
literally
sparkle.
have a list. Ooh, it's so pretty.
And it says confetti makes me happy. Which it does. It does not make the odd, like random, not odd, like random janitor very happy. So
That's okay. It's fine.
we have a whole list
Yes, we have lists of things we're gonna discuss on this
on our podcast.
podcast, on the videos,
Yeah.
on our channel, on our several
And in
channels.
our chats with A&A, all the things you wish you could say. We have many topics to speak of.
Are you
Uh,
write down dating?
yes, I'll write it down before I forget. Because you know me, about 0.5 seconds, I'm going to forget it. Hold on, where's my pen?
This is
Oh,
how our conversations usually go. So welcome to real life with us.
we do not have a script. This is all unscripted.
This is really unscripted.
But I think that's what makes it the most fun because then you're like, wow, they're crazy. I like it.
You know what? It's all good. You will never go unentertained
You
because
will
we are so
never be
entertaining.
bored with us. No. Because if nothing else, you'll be like laughing at our idiocy.
And then you'll come back to find out what other things we actually are going to say because you never know what's going to come out of our mouths.
Dating.
I don't know if I'm looking forward to that one, dude. I'm just saying.
I know, but it's something we got to talk about because it's relevant, it's current, it's things they can use now.
True.
And we promise to make this relevant, current, and stuff that they can use.
True.
Because we are natural educators. And
Yes.
we went to the colleges
Yes.
and we graduated from them and got us a degree.
Yes. It makes us expert. What's 20 years in the medical field make you then?
I'm a surgeon. Didn't you know?
You're a surgeon.
Yes, I'm a vascular surgeon.
You are so not a surgeon.
I'm not. I'm not. I could never cut somebody open. I'm like, oh my gosh.
Well, I
Now,
think it's
do
funny.
I love
You're like, I need
watching?
the X-ray results, but I don't know how to read them. I'm like, I do. Send them to me.
It's true. She's like, I got you. I can decipher what all of that crap means.
And I totally did.
And she did. And I was like, oh my gosh, that makes so much sense.
And she's like, thank you so much.
I was very grateful because I was like reading it and I'm like, because some of the words I can't even say. I'm like, it says something like this.
All
So
those
then,
medical terms.
and then she's like, just send it to me. I will decipher the results for you. I was like, thanks.
It's
So, well, I mean, like you have like the like hands-on personal with my kids' medical experience,
right. So I had to read everything and try to understand it. And what I did
Right.
understand, I was asking the doctors as they're doing stuff on the kids, like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing?
I have 36 years in the medical field because my mother is a nurse. And so whenever I wouldn't understand something or I had like, is this weird? Like sometimes she'd be like, why are you asking me that? I do not want to talk to you about this. Like this funny little bump I got somewhere. Anyway, uh, but like she's our family, like the your side of the family go to for medical questions.
That's who all of my aunts and uncles go
Yep.
to her. And like even my mom goes to her.
Hmm.
And she's got a daughter who's lived in the medical field with her own kids and can decipher things. And I'm like, I could have told you that. I could have told you that. I could have told you that. Whatever, go to her.
I totally just
I
came up.
love them dearly.
Yes. Do we always get along? Absolutely not. Um,
No relationship is perfect.
true. I just realized
What? You
on
needed something else on that list?
in our list for families.
Oh, did I have those?
I think you have the family list. Yeah,
Oh,
I
little
don't have
tiny
it.
list. She
I
has
have the
the big list. I had the little list.
I have the communication, friendships, and other things list.
Okay, yeah. Then I have the families
But
in there.
it needs to have, I'll write it on my list too,
Okay,
and just
here's
in
on your
case.
list.
But like mother-daughter relationships.
Ooh,
Hmm.
that's an interesting one.
Yep.
Yeah.
One that you and I are very familiar with.
We are gonna have so much fun.
We just have to make sure our moms don't watch that episode because things may
No,
be
because
said.
we're gonna say what needs to be said without judgment, without hate, without malice, without dis despising, without any anger, without it's just here's what it is. Because this is a judgment-free zone.
Oh, it so is.
And this is where we're going to dissect different aspects of lives, different aspects of different relationships, and just be like, this is what you can say, this is what you can do. Like set up boundaries. Totally have boundaries.
Totally have that on the list. Yep.
Oh yeah. And just maintain. Just be like, okay. Okay, I have to do a fun fact, don't I?
Yep, it's your turn
No,
for the
it's my
fun fact.
turn. Okay, fun fact. Fun fact about me. When I was working in the junior high, I had one of the teachers I worked with. She's like, "Oh, you need to watch this," because she's from England, and she got into K dramas. It was hilarious. I'm like,
I don't understand how you get into Korean dramas in England, but
I don't know,
whatever.
but she's from England and she's here in the U.S. teaching sped students,
I thought you were gonna say
sped
Spanish.
person.
Like this just gets
No,
weirder.
I was trying to think of what subject she was teaching. And no, she just taught sped students.
Right.
So I think it was like study skills.
Okay. Okay.
Oh. But no, we were talking and she's like, "Oh, I watched this and this," and she like made this list. And I'm like, and then she handed me a piece of paper and she's like, "You really need to watch this." And I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And at the time, my life was going through a hell of a time. It was really, really bad, really ugly. Like, I can't, maybe one day I will get into that, but I was really low. And one of the songs from this drama that she told me I had to watch because she was going to follow up with me. So she would check in with me. So I'm like, okay, I have to watch this. So she'd follow up with me. So one of the songs on this K-drama really connected with my soul. And I was like, oh my gosh, I have to find out the name of the song and the singer and the lyrics. And like, I just dissected the whole thing. And then I'm like trying to find more music that I can like to just feel, just to have that just to have that soul connection with. And oh my gosh, opened up windows and doors. I was so excited. So now that's what I listen to. It's a lot of K-pop, K-band. I think there's even some R&B, like K-R&B. There's all sorts of stuff. Just from I've got K, I've got J, and I've got Thai. So I've listened to it all, but most of it is K. Most of it's from Korea. So that's a little fun fact about me is most of my music comes from Korea.
And I remember when you were going through all of that stuff, and like I have to tell you guys, like she was like a completely different person. Like it just like shifted her kind of her outlook on things, and she started to be like more positive and more connected with herself, like on a spiritual level. And it was just really kind of cool to see that transition and that change, transformation actually, when she was healing. And she's still healing, obviously, because we're never done healing. But during, I mean, that part of the healing process, and it was just really kind of, uh, it was cool to witness, as someone who loves her and was very, very worried about her. And so when I saw, oh, geez, okay, that one part of our family's coming out of me right now. Um,
Just
I'm just glad that she found something that she could hold on to that gave her hope and a passion for life again. And so I'm glad that she's still here and she keeps on trucking no matter what hits her.
yep. And on our side, on my mom's side of the family, they're very, very emotional and it hits really hard. And there will be
Yeah.
times that we do cry and sometimes that we don't. And as certain astrological signs, some of us cry more easy than others. I know. But
I mean, like
I
we
think that
both
also has to do with
do.
the trauma that I've been through. I usually have a tendency to suppress it. Like,
Yeah.
and that's subconscious.
Well, that's because we
Subconsciously.
were consciously taught that.
No, 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 no. With the trauma with my ex on top of my youth and everything. Like all of that, I have like really suppressed a lot of my emotions. And I'm now finally getting to the point where I can start to feel my emotions and I'm like, oh, these are valid.
Mm-hmm.
I will validate. So I do validate. But even when I could be full on crying and like that, they're gone. And the train of thought is gone. And I'm like, where there is no even no train tracks either. All right, that's gone. I don't know what to do. Like I do not even recall why I was in tears. I guess it's gone.
And see, and I think that's the difference between the two of us is because I remember everything when it comes to if it's emotionally attached to something. And
Right.
so, because I am very blue, on the color code, I'm very blue, and which blue people are emotional. And then, my astrological sign is passionate. And so sometimes that passion is like tears, tears.
Right.
um, but something that I figured out the other day as I've been in here, um, I don't cry over pain. And so, this being a judgment free zone and all that, I have a very, very high pain tolerance. My doctor actually told me that. He's like, you have an extremely high pain tolerance. And I was like, I know. He's like, so much that your 9 is somebody's 20 on the pain scale, which by the way, it only goes up to 10 if you didn't know that. Um, and so people usually when they're at a 9 or a 10, they're like screaming or like flinging limbs and whatever, just like having a complete meltdown or something because they're in so much pain. Well, I don't express my pain in that way. And I honestly can't even tell you why I don't, because there's never been anyone to be like, you don't cry when you get hurt. Like my mom never said that, you know? So I'm just like, I don't know. I just have a high pain tolerance. And my doctor says it's because you've been through an amazing amount of pain, even in just the past 3 years. And so when I was crying, was it 2 days ago? I think. I want to say it was like 2 days ago.
It was either 2 days ago or was this yesterday?
I think it was two.
You think it was two? You think it was before Christmas?
Yes.
Like
Because,
2 days ago was before Christmas.
oh, I know. Um, because yesterday was Christmas.
I know. I have to think about
Uh,
it.
yeah,
It's a Christmas tree.
no. It was on Christmas Eve night.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Uh-huh. And so um I was in so much pain that I was like sobbing. And it wasn't because I was like, oh my gosh, my life is horrible. Like I'm emotional. I was like, no, I am crying because I am in pain, which means that it was a 10 for me. It's like I finally reached that point where I'm like, I'm done. Give me something now. Because I have never been one who's like, let me just take the pain meds. Because I don't want to become addicted to something like that. Um, but I learned to realize that I need to listen to my body and give it what it needs. And I don't have to be strong all the time.
That's a good learning experience. It's it's hard to get there, but
But here we talk about the hard things.
exactly. And we're gonna unbox it all.
Unbox everything and we'll put it on a huge pile like socks on the floor and bring them back together, match it up, and have harmony and equilibrium.
Right?
So I'm excited. Are you excited?
I'm so excited.
So excited. It's gonna be awesome. But yeah, so I think we're gonna start. Didn't we decide mental illness is not
Yes.
a dirty word?
No, it is not.
Our first one about mental health in our series on mental health. So look forward to that.
Yeah, we'll see you later, you guys.
Bye, guys.